The Holy Gospel, according to the 10th chapter of Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. A disciple is not above the teacher, nor a slave above the master. It is enough for the disciple to be like the teacher, and the slave like the master. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebul, how much more will they malign those of his household? So they have no fear of them. But nothing is covered up that will not be uncovered, and nothing secret that not become known. What I say to you in the dark, tell in the light, and what you hear whispered, proclaim from the housetops. Do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father. And even the hairs of your head are all counted. So do not be afraid. You are of more value than many sparrows. Everyone, therefore, who acknowledged me before others, I will acknowledge them before my Father in heaven. Do not think that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And one's foes will be not members of one's own household. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take up the cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Those who find their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it. This is the gospel of the Lord, and we give praise to you, O Christ. Today is the 3rd Sunday after Pentecost, and Jesus is preparing to send his disciples out. But the first thing he does is take care of an issue that I found interesting. He took care of feelings, and that first feeling he took care of was fear. Last week, I was awakened in the middle of the night by a grating sound. The sound unfamiliar and to me, a haunting, scary sound. I did not know if I was dreaming or if the sound was real. No rational thought came into my mind in those first seconds. I was paralyzed by fear. I got up and went to get my weapon, a very heavy-duty hammer, and I was prepared to use it. No thoughts of mercy or humanity or reason rose in my spirit. I was bound by a fear that left me incapable of thought of loving my neighbor. But that fear is nothing compared to the fear I feel when I consider the state of this world that God so loved. When I look at my 2 Black grandsons who could at any time be a victim of the racist and inhumane condition of this country. When I look at my children who have been victims of the systemic racism that has choked us as a people. When I look at my son, 6 feet, 4 inches tall, and a fearsome, angry being to some in this country. So fearsome that he is a target, an afterthought in life and death because of the fears of others. It is no wonder that Jesus begins his instructions to his disciples on their mission with have no fear. We all have fears, and those fears can immobilize us, choke off the fruit of the Spirit that should flourish within us. So he admonishes us, have no fear. Then he speaks of love. Fear. Is there any more pervasive or powerful force in human experience? From the moment we are born, we learn to fear the world around us. When I hold a newborn in the delivery room, just from the womb, and my hold is not secure, the baby's arms and hands, legs will flail as if to fear falling. There's a natural response to anxiety and fear. The part of the brain called the amygdala will respond to fear with fight or flight. The adrenal glands go into high gear. You will have strength you never thought you would have. Yes, there is something powerful about fear. Politicians have used fear to ensure conformity to structure even when it's not in our best interest. Why would a family who has no insurance reject Obamacare? Fear, my friends, can drive an economy. It can drive a household. Ask any girl in my generation who had to confront daddy. So you see, while Jesus was giving the instructions on the mission of disciples, he had to address fear. Why? Because he recognized that fear can cause the failure of his discipleship. Fear can change the course of action. Fear can ruin the plan. In this world today, we are asked to courageously lead the security of what we have known and accepted, where we have fearfully crafted our actions to survive, to stand up, to speak truth to power. Leave all of that to speak truth to power, even when it means death. We can no longer let fear deter us in this liminal space where change is inevitable. We must move forward even when we are not sure where we're going. We just know we will not go back. The disciples in today's gospel text are also moving forward, moving out of the safety of the bubble in which they live into a collision course with the powers of their world. They will preach a gospel that is contrary to every thought the world has. And so he prepares them realistically and makes a case for why they should not fear. The disciples are given remarkable powers, but not what they may consider what they need. No money, no extra clothes, no extra sandals, no protective staffs. They are sent out as sheep in the midst of wolves to face arrest and beatings, opposition, hatred from friends as well as strangers, and finally, for the disciples, death. This is the first step of freeing them from fear, to know what you are to face. And he names the suffering they may endure. They know that all they can depend on is God through Jesus Christ, their teacher, their redeemer. He repeatedly assures them, reminding them of the relationship with God who will never leave them. A safe place where they may dwell, the secret place of the Most High, a place in the Lord who will neither slumber nor sleep. He reminds them they will be masters who have suffered, so will they. Their fates are tied with his. But oh, the magnificence of that faith. There is the understanding, the knowledge of God's presence and God's character in the world that claims power. The world would have you believe it has all power. The world has no power. The real power is found in the gospel. The gospel, the love of God, is the most powerful tool at the disciples' disposal. It is more powerful against any so-called power in this world. It is the power of love. You see, the threat of death may be the most powerful form of fear, but Christ has conquered death. The world may have power to conquer the body, but not the whole person. God alone controls body and soul. Why we have no fear? Because the power of God's love is immeasurable. Human power is a facade. Love conquers fear. Today's text is particularly a comforting text for today. We are in the midst of crisis, a pandemic. Then there are those who seek to kill, steal, and destroy. Anarchists who seek to create chaos, to control the world with division and fear, creating scenes that inspire fear and hate, creating remembrance of domination and oppression, lynchings, fiery crosses, beatings. But God today tells us, have no fear. For the Lord who regards the sparrow surely looks out for you. And surely as Jesus prepares his disciples to withstand fear, so he prepares us. And I don't know about you, But I am not going back to that place of anxiety and fear for me and mine. I will not allow myself to conform to a life where I am minimized. I will not be quiet to get along. I will not be invisible. I will stand for the gospel. I will not let the world shame me into believing that I must conform, because my life is tied to his. And he who has all power in his hand cares for me. For me, nothing can separate me from him. My help comes from him. Through him, I am set aside, sanctified and made holy. Brothers and sisters, next week, I will join a group of peaceful protesters. My sign is being made as I speak. It will say Black Lives Matter, because Black lives do matter. My life matters. Your life matters. We are beloved of God. I will not be afraid. We will not fear those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Blessed be the name of the Lord.